Hello, my friends. Welcome into another episode of the Run Your Day podcast. Dan Hafner joining you here today from Charleston, South Carolina. That's right, I am in the other Charleston. For any of you that don't know, we do live, my wife and I live in Charleston, West Virginia, but we are in Charleston, South Carolina. We've been traveling, if you've been following the show, this past fall, she's been doing interviews. She's trying to go into a fellowship in the medical field, so she's trying to get another placement. So we've been all over the place: Hershey, PA, Cleveland, Lexington, Kentucky, all over the place. Been crazy. So what's interesting today, I'm out, she's on her interview, and we brought our dogs along. We have two little Chihuahuas, and I'm just kind of walking around in this park I found, and I just had to come here and tell you guys about this because it's kind of incredible. It's just kind of blowing my mind. It might be simple for some of you, but basically I'm in this park I found in South Carolina, and I was not looking for this. I just looked up a park to take our dogs to walk them, and just started going off the beaten path here. And what I found, it's kind of like in the middle of the swamp. There's all these different like the little ferns and stuff. If you've ever been to Florida, there's all those like little ferns and, smaller like palm trees and all this stuff around. And there's this disc golf course on the trail throughout here. I'm currently on hole number 5 here. I see the hole for it, which is really, this is really cool. It's kind of blowing my mind, honestly, because I was just figuring it was just like another kind of like park that there's like soccer fields and stuff, and then there's just like an off the beaten path that you can just walk or ride your bike or whatever. No, this is a disc golf course. Now, I'm not a disc golfer. I've thrown like the discs before, but I've never actually been disc golfing in my life. I really want to. I think it'd be something that'd be really cool. I'm more of an actual golfer. Not that I'm putting down disc golf or anything. I really would like to try it. It looks really, really fun. But I've never done it, so I've never really been exposed to it. So I'm just walking along here, and I see these signs and these, like the paint on the trees, and I'm like, what the hell is going on here? Like, this is wild. And now I'm at like an intersection here where there's hole 5, hole 16, and hole 17 all converge. And I'm like, my mind is freaking blown right now at like the immensity of not only this park and this trail system, but like the actual thing here. Like, it's absolutely blowing my mind. And honestly, I didn't even think of a title to title this episode. By the time you're hearing it, I will have come up with one, but really, it's kind of blowing my mind how I never would have thought, like I never in a million years would have thought that a disc golf course could be in such a thing. Like there's trees everywhere here. Like there's big ass trees. I just saw a red-tailed hawk like fly, down the path from me. Like there's big ass trees in here. There's probably deer in here. There's probably all kinds of different things. And I thought that disc golf courses were more like regular golf courses that were kind of open. Maybe there's trees. Like I pictured them as an actual golf course, like open, ponds, water hazards, sand hazards, whatever. But apparently, obviously there's different types of golf courses, but this is really, really, really cool. And I guess the takeaway that I'm learning from this, and that I kind of wanted to jump on and pass on to you guys, was there are different things that can be applied to different things, right? Like, who would have thought to put a disc golf course in the freaking woods, in a swamp, right? Like, clearly somebody thought of it, and somebody else thought it was a good idea, and clearly it's used because this trail's pretty well maintained. Like, it's pretty decent down here. I know there's some trees and logs and stuff in the way, but somewhere, someday, probably long ago, somebody thought, you know what? We should put a disc golf course in this trail. I think that'd be cool. And somebody was like, dude, that's a retarded idea. Like, that's a dumb idea. I don't mean offense when I say retarded. Like, it's a stupid idea, right? But, then somebody else was like, you know what? That'd be kind of cool. And somebody else was like, you know what? That'd be kind of cool. Maybe there wasn't a gang of 10 people that were like, hey, you know what? This would be really, really cool if we did this. Maybe there was just 2 people and they just set it up, got approval, did what they had to do to make this thing a reality. Right? I mean, this is how it started with my podcast. I started, recording some of these audio notes to myself and just started to get better and better and better at it, and started to realize like, hey, maybe I have some valuable content to like share with people. Maybe I should come on here and publish this stuff. And I got one other person to think like, yeah, that's a good idea. And next thing you know, I'm publishing a podcast. I reached out to help for one person. He helped me get it set up, and boom, I was in business. So I guess I'm not going to share a title with you because I still honestly can't think of one off the top of my head like I normally do. But I guess that's my main takeaway from this is, different things can come from different things. Maybe you have an idea of a path that you want to go in your career, and you're in one kind of job right now, and that's just, you have this path of like, well, I'm going to get promoted here, and then as long as I stay, for 2 years here, then I'll get this job, and then I'll be able to move into this industry, move into this position, and blah, 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 blah. But maybe an opportunity comes up and presents itself that you didn't even think of, that you couldn't even have seen coming. This has happened to me probably 4 or 5 times, and largely because, out of necessity, having to move for my wife's job over and over. But what I found through this process is that every piece of experience that I had from previous industries, previous jobs, previous experiences I never would have been able to succeed in my current job had I not had those previous experiences. So the different things came from the different things. Like the reason I can do this podcast, the reason I could build an app, the reason that I can do all of these groups and these masterminds and this coaching stuff was because of all the different things that I've gone through. Going through those different things qualified me to do these things. And I think a lot of us struggle with this qualification thing. Like no one in their right mind would have ever thought that this swamp is qualified to have a disc golf course in it, right? Come on, this way. Like no one would have ever thought that originally. Maybe you have this story going on in your mind of, well, I really want to do this with my career, but I'm just not qualified for it. That's bullshit. It's bullshit, and you know it. Like that's a fake narrative, and you're selling yourself short. Because even if the thing that you want does have some kind of requirement, like maybe it's like a doctor, lawyer, like whatever type of thing, like you literally have to be certified to do it. Like you can go get those certifications. You can go get the knowledge and the training required to make those things a reality. And yeah, it might take more time, it might take more effort, more money, more commitment than you previously thought it might. God knows, like everything that I've tried to build and everything that I've gone and done over the past 18 months has required tons more effort than in money and commitment and time than I thought it would. Every time you think that you're going to get something done in time, like add a week. That's literally the principle I've learned. Like no matter what I'm trying to build, either through my app or through this podcast, like it takes more time than I was previously estimating it, because life's full of friction. And I'll talk about that later on. I have another awesome episode queued up for you guys as far as friction goes. But yeah, for today, hold on a second. Here we go. Okay, we got all leash tied up. There we go. All right, we're good. So for today, just this principle, like this swamp, never in a million years would I have thought that there'd be a disc golf course. And probably not a lot of people even would have thought about this as well. But somebody turned it into one. How? Through commitment, through an idea, through a vision, and by not accepting what the status quo was. Like this could have just been, a regular freaking park with somewhere to walk and things to do and whatnot. But somebody was committed enough to make this happen. And even if the conditions weren't right, they made the conditions right. Even if the timing wasn't right, they made the timing right. Like so many of us take like you stop at the first obstacle. You stop at the first obstacle, and the first thing that gets in your way, oh, this wasn't meant to be. oh, I guess I just wasn't meant to have this. Oh, I guess this relationship wasn't meant to work out. Like, you're fooling yourself. You're fooling yourself. If you can think of an area in your life where you've stopped at the first obstacle, the first sign of trouble, I encourage you, I invite you, like, go back and think about that. Critically analyze that in your life, because, man, I still do this from time to time. I'll notice, like, myself, even as an entrepreneur, even as someone that is pushing to build such big shit, like, I will stop at the first sign of trouble with things. I will. Like, it's just a habit I'm still trying to break. I'm by no means claiming to be an expert at doing this. But what I've learned is this process of going back and thinking, oh man, like, why did I quit when that happened? Right? And 90% of the time, I find that I just wasn't committed enough. Like, I severely underestimated something. Maybe it really was a shitty idea. Maybe it was something that just wasn't worth doing. But a lot of times it was, ideas are a dime a dozen. A lot of times it just comes down to the commitment that you have and aligning it with your actual why and your purpose, right? So that's just what I wanted to say today. Come on here, and I've been trying to do a podcast in every different state we've been in. I have admittedly missed a couple, probably just because I got too busy and making excuses and that whole noise. But this one is from South Carolina, so I can add that to the list. So for any of you in Charleston, South Carolina, or South Carolina in general, congratulations, by the way. This was the weekend after the Gamecocks beat the Bulldogs. So that was pretty cool. I didn't get a chance to watch the game. I saw the highlights. It looked crazy. But anyway, really appreciate you guys joining. That's going to wrap up the show. I'm going to finish out my walk, and then we have about a 7-hour drive home. So yeah, that should be fun. I got a lot of time to think of new content and new show ideas for you guys. So all right, my friends. So just one final thought for today. Where's something different that you might be able to create something different? Different things, different ideas lead to different results. All right, my friends, that's all. Really appreciate you guys coming on and joining. As always, head over to runyourday.run. Admittedly, the site is just about finished. There is a temporary page up there for now, but it should be done very, very soon, and I'll be sure to let you guys know. So head over to runyourday.run, sign up for our mailing list, get notified of things, when the latest things will be dropped, when the new website will be up, when the membership will be available, all that stuff. So head over to runyourday.run, share this podcast. Always, please leave me a review on iTunes. That's really, really appreciated, and always helps boost the visibility of the show. All right, my friends, take it easy. Have a great rest of your day. Dan Hafner signing off.
Thank you for listening to the Run Your Day podcast. We hope you enjoyed today's show. If you did, feel free to share today's show with friends and family. Until next time, have a great day.